if somebody comes to us and next year you want to put it in the budget and start a program, somebody wants to run it.
I was just kind of hoping we could merge senior citizens in with maybe the historian's office. Maybe have her run it.
They still have.
Oh, is she here?
She's not here.
You know, you can't tell Barb.
I would know, I'm
what
just
to
saying
do,
maybe,
but,
I'm not trying to fail at that. I'm
No,
just saying it
and she
could
had-
be an idea,
You know
that's
what?
all.
Yeah.
I agree with you, but you know what? Maybe what we should do is either try to combine it with Town of Plattsburgh or Town of Peru, see how their Office for the Aging is doing, how their senior citizens are working, and even if we had to appropriate some funds to go along with them and combine them, and just, there's,
So I mean, so do you wanna cut the whole 3,500 or maybe leave some in
They
there?
still have money in their account.
yeah. Howard?
A couple of years ago, there was a program, I think it's through the county, that sets up for senior citizens. And part of the reason why a lot of the ones from Morrisville didn't do it is they couldn't afford it. And I brought it in at that time, why don't we use the 3,500 to pay for them to be able to join the county? Then the county would be able to bus them around on all these trips and everything. I think,
And that's what I'm saying, is maybe we can combine it
but
with, but first off, they do have money in their account, correct?
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what they have in their checkbook because it's theirs, and that's something that we had discussed to try to get somebody, and some of them are getting up there, some of them passed away.
Yeah.
They don't have elected slate of officers. So, you know, and I think they're just to that point where nobody's got the interest to take it over.
What I would like,
That
I'd like to,
happened
yep,
because of COVID.
yep, I agree. What I'd like to see is the aging, the Office of the Aging, they do have money appropriated in their checking account. And also, the Youth Commission also has a checking account with money in it, correct, Matt?
I
Mary?
have it.
Do we still have that account?
It's not under my name, I don't know whose name it is, it's whoever the president was.
But
It has
there's-
nothing to do with the town's money,
There's still an account with
but
the,
it's not the town's money.
it's a Youth Commission.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that. So they both have money in an account and nobody wants to do anything with it. I say at this point, if somebody comes to us and wants to do it, or the new board gets somebody to volunteer to run the Youth Commission, which used to be huge.
Mhm.
The senior citizens used to be huge. If somebody wants to take that over and build on it, then that's the time to start working with them. At this point, we don't have that, I think we should take it out.
You wanna take the whole thing out?
Yep. They've probably got that much in their account, Reg.
Nobody knows where the checkbook is.
Yeah,
It's whoever-
So, and I'm being serious.
Oh, yeah.
About
No.
that, saying,
no, it's,
All they gotta do is go
No.
to the bank.
it's TD Bank.
who was I talking to? I got it written in my.
I thought Donna Carter.
I can't go to TV.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not about that.
The problem is they don't, the
Donna
treasurer
Carter
won't
used to be the
kinda,
president of it. She
yeah.
could find
I
out.
think, don't quote me, I think it's, Joyce, they still got it.
Joyce
Joey's
used to.
Uchler?
Yep.
But anyway, I
I mean, I
know.
don't wanna be petty about it, but if the checkbook is out there, it's getting a monthly charge. They don't do it for free. If it's active.
Same thing with Youth Commission, Reg. It's something that
Yeah.
needs to be looked into, but I don't think we should keep putting.
I know, when I got all the information, that's why, cause you and
Yes, yes.
So what do we
are
do?
on that committee, so that's why I gave you all that information so that you could work on it.
Well, Mary,
And I don't think the interest is there right now. I
this,
just don't think
I
it's
don't.
there.
this year, this for the senior citizens, if there wasn't a check that was given to them this year, was it? No.
No, they only got what's left in,
They haven't gotten a couple of checks in.
Couple of years,
you're
right?
jumping on
Yeah.
insurance bandwagon, if we're gonna just put 3,500 and then we know it's probably not gonna be used for the
Yeah.
foreseeable future, then I would say, you know, if we had to fund it, we could always transfer something from the general fund.
Yep.
If there's enough money.
Yeah,
in
someone
there.
steps
We're
up.
not talking a
pays
ton
back
of money,
more.
but it's just crazy to keep giving.
Alright, so am I taking the full on that out?
Yep. Right? I shouldn't say that.
I agree.
Mike, you agree?
Yes.
Done.
Parks, CE.
Yeah, and like I said, if they get, a slate of officers together and they get, people that are interested in doing it, then let's take it out of the general.
Now at least they'll have a room to meet. Here.
But that wasn't the problem.
Right, but I mean, you need a building.
Yeah, but that
You need a
wasn't the
meeting
problem.
room.
The problem is that their members had either passed or were older, and the ones that
The
were
ones that are
very
still around don't want
active,
nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
they just don't.
Times have changed.
Kevin, what is public CE? Publicity CE, what is that?
Park CE.
Yeah, parks. So you,
No, up
No,
above it.
up above it, publicity CE? Is that our
Oh,
advertising
yeah.
or the? Didn't we put that in?
contractual expenditures and publicity. But it's, doesn't some of that go into, didn't we use some of that for
That's for the
beautification?
music in the park.
That's what I was
and
gonna
that
say,
for
the
your
beautification
celebration.
and-
I didn't know what you guys were doing for next year.
You're talking about the $100,000,
No, the
No,
10,000.
10,000.
the
10,000.
10,000? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's,
So like when I bought the Christmas signs that go on the poles and that kind of stuff, the music in the park, that all comes out of that fund. That's been going over pretty good.
why is anybody gonna continue after you're gone? Not that you're going anywhere, but I mean, you're not supervisor.
Still trying to help out with it, but, yeah, I don't wanna see it go to heck, but it's up to you guys. I think it's been well received, the, community appreciates it. I mean, we've had upwards of 80-something people down there on concerts.
I still would like to see some activity at Salmon River Park as well.
And we have to upgrade the electricity.
Sure, I'd like to put some money into that. That wouldn't be a bad idea at all. The electricity's there now, but
Right, but,
it would need a small upgrade, I think.
no, there's nothing small in price today. Like I said, in most towns do it at one location, no matter where they are. If you look at Peru, they do the gazebo right there by the bridge. That's where they do it. That way everybody knows where they're going.
I think a lot of residents out that way would like to see it over there too.
But they're all welcome to come to there, which is set up for them. I mean, the board can do
Yeah,
whatever they
maybe,
want.
maybe down, who knows?
Yep,
Yeah.
the board can do whatever they want. But I'm just saying, you're gonna confuse the heck out of them if you say
We gotta
it's here
discuss-
one week and here another week and here another week.
I would be for it.
Huh?
I think at this point, we don't care how we spend it, do we wanna keep the 10,000 in there to have it available? I mean, we used to do the, garage sale days and everything else. I don't think 10,000 is a lot to promote our town.
No.
I'm okay with putting it, keeping it in, Mike, or
Yep.
Alright.
So
Mitch. Okay,
we're good.
okay, Park CE.
Oh. Okay, so that's where we transferred the 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're looking at, bathrooms at River Street Park and at, Town Hall there. So, we don't need to, so. Would be easier to, we're gonna roll the 100 over because we didn't use it yet. Can we, once we roll it over, can we take it and put it back into here so it's a rolling fund? I don't wanna take another extra 100,000 out.
No, what I did is I took it out of the unincorporated funds like we did last year.
Right.
But I just didn't know if you wanted the whole 100.
Because that's what I'm saying, it's gonna be a round robin, pretty much. because we didn't spend it this year, it would go back at the end of this year, back into unallocated, but you're taking another 100,000 back out of the unallocated. Alright,
It was just a
So-
few guys if you wanted to keep
so-
covered in there.
I'll tell you honestly, River Street is probably gonna be a year. Probably to get through the feds, the state, and the county. This one here, we could probably start this fall. If the board still wanted to. You talk to anybody that goes to the music in the park, Howard, when we do the winter festival down there and all that. It's a pain not having a bathroom down there. The other thing is that it's a four-season park, so when they're ice skating or whatever, it would give them a building that they could go in and change. I'd like to put, set it up so it's his, hers, with benches.
It's gonna have to be manned when it's open, right?
What's that?
It's gonna have to be manned, someone's gonna have to open it and supervise it.
Well, you're gonna have to keep an eye on it. I mean, nobody'd have to be manned there all the time. I mean, it's like anything else. You just make sure that it was clean.
That's what I'm saying, yeah, that's the
And what
point.
there's toilet paper
I
and
have a lot of
soap
experience with that. And you better have somebody keeping track of it,
clean, yeah.
because people are very disrespectful.
Yeah, and then you're
We
gonna
don't want
have
that.
kind of the same issue here, once the splash pad goes in, you're gonna have people using that, and their kids are probably gonna wanna change in a swimsuit and then get out of the wet swimsuit before they get put back in their cars.
Well, I gotta say, this past weekend, we were very fortunate. My great-granddaughter, we had a birthday party. We took her down to River Street Park, and it was beautiful. It was the gazebo there, and everything was great. While we were there, 2 different times, a group of at least, was it 4 or 5 dirt bikes, come whipping down through, got all the way down to the park, realized that there was a bunch of people down there having a party. They turned around and went back. Came back down an hour later. They were gonna go dirt biking on the trails. River Street Park, as far as I'm concerned, is a beautiful park. And I mean, that foosball court you got and everything, and the trails are fantastic. I don't think we can police it enough. And those kids, I guarantee you, there have been 10 dirt bikes racing around there all day. I would absolutely have no problem. We're gonna do the splash pad up here. If you wanna do a bathroom and stuff up here. I think building a bathroom down there, like Mike says, you're not gonna be able to police it. You're gonna have a lot of misuse of that place down there. You gotta heat it. You gotta have lights to it, which is no huge deal, but you gotta keep it clean. Now, who the heck's gonna go down there and clean that bathroom?
Well, you add it to the janitorial service.
Yeah, and that's the whole,
Or have,
again, it's
if we
not,
got buildings and grounds, then
right.
that would cover.
I would like to get a price on putting one, if you want, up here. I mean, we have a lot of activity up here. You're gonna have the splash pad. I'm not in favor of putting one down there. That's my advice.
Well, you haven't been down there when they've been doing the events. And if
No,
you
I
see how many people are there during those events, you would see that there was a need for that bathroom down.
Have you had porta johns down there now?
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
one.
We got one for John
Yeah.
down there.
So that's not sufficient. Get 2.
Okay. So when it's 15 below, and this is what I hear, when it's 15 below, you keep shaking your head, Mr. Donna, but
Well, it's my head. If I want to take it, I think I'd be entitled to.
at least,
Besides listening to what you're saying, and it makes anybody
when it's
sick.
15 below, and they're going in there when the ice skating rink is down there, it's pretty cool. You sit on the seat down there.
But also,
But,
$100,000 quite a bit.
yeah, and do I think it's gonna cost $100,000 to do that?
It'd have to be a
No.
state of the art because of the water table there.
Yeah.
It's basically in a swamp. and you're gonna install a septic system down there?
No, you can do
Is
it
that
two
what's
different
gonna
ways.
happen?
No, we're not gonna get into engineering tonight, but they basically make, a tank that'll go underneath a bathroom. Or the dual bathrooms that can be pumped out just the way it is now with water pipe. Or if we put the bathroom down there, it had, oh geez, he just retired from county planner.
Coza. Yeah, Coza, right?
Canosa?
Canosa.
No, not Kenosha. County planner department. Anyways, I'll think of it when I don't need to. But he looked at the LiDAR down there and found actually 3 spots down there that were high enough by the mapping that was just done where we could put a bathroom. He figured the state, the feds would be good with it. It's one thing that's allowable, even with the FEMA buyout floodplain. If you have created a park there, you're allowed to put bathrooms there. Because the big thing is they don't want any walled buildings. But it's a necessity to have a bathroom.
Now, on that same note, if you're gonna put one of them here, you're gonna put one of them down there, what are the people in South Plattsburgh Park gonna say? They're gonna want one down over there. What about Katyville? Ricky can tell you, our grandkids played soccer up there. Saturday we were up there. There's not even an outhouse there.
Yeah, wait,
I was gonna say.
wait in the corner, there's one, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, because some of the
Yeah.
kids were coming up to me and saying, where do we use the bathroom? I said, I don't know, I don't see one anymore.
That's there from early May till
Yeah.
after soccer season's done.
Okay, then I was wrong, I'm sorry.
When you go in the parking lot, in the left-hand corner,
Yeah.
Okay.
by that.
And again, these don't have to be state of the art anything. They don't have to be real expensive. But you're not gonna get anything built with prevailing wages today without spending some money. And I agree with you. I'd love to see regular bathrooms in all of our parks.
I mean, that park in South Plattsburgh probably gets used more than any of them with that pump track. There's more kids there each and every
Yeah,
day
and that one's
than
got a
there is
well.
in all these other ones put together.
And that one's got a well there, so we could put a bathroom there.
Sam,
We had
how
talked about
expensive,
Sam and I.
how expensive are the portable toilets by the month? Just a rough idea.
We spend, oh God, each one is a little bit different depending on where it is. But I think our quote was somewhere around $1,400 for the year. That does not include the one that is at River Street. We have 2 here, one at Woods Mills, and one out at Salmon River. They're great until about every other week they tip them over or,
You need a handicap.
you know,
Well, that's one of the things we haven't got dunged on yet, or dinged on yet, but yeah.
they tip this
I
one over
did during the
2 or
175th
3 times this year.
anniversary.
People in it?
I did add,
Unfortunately, I didn't find anybody's.
I did add handicap ones for that event, but you're right. That's another thing. So there should be 2 at each one of those. One regular, one handicap, or at least a handicap accessible one.
So I have to ask the question, this 100,000 is just one line, just for River Street bathroom?
No,
It can be used on anything.
it was for bathrooms here, there, and like I said, Tammy and I talked about River Street. We were gonna see how much it
Possibly, you possibly could have got 3 bathrooms out of that.
out of that.
Out of 100,000?
Thank you.
Whoa.
But it all
You know, I
depends,
just-
it all depends on what you do with them. Like I say, you're looking at, it all depends on who built it. 'Cause, I've talked to a couple of local contractors that said that they could do it, do these rough cuts. But you are gonna pay so much for the tank. Yes, go ahead, Ricky.
Just what you were saying about a holding tank. If you go to Lapham's Mills Park, unless they've changed it, that's what they have. And they have what, 7, 8 ball fields?
Yeah.
It's just a holding tank.
It gets pumped.
Right. But if you go to Mason Park, if anybody's been down there, you should take a ride down there and take a look at this park. There's a trail that goes all the way around to 22. They have a gazebo type thing for the bands. They have 2 portable toilets, a regular and a handicap. And there's a lot of people that go down there and walk their dogs. The only thing, and it's come in handy, when we go down with our dog, we bring them water, they have a water fountain. You can get water, you can drink it, or you can fill up a bowl, somebody leaves a bowl there, which is real handy, but they only have 2 portable toilets there. A handicap, regular one, Morrisonville, you could ask Donnie about it, and seems to be all right. But Lapham's Mills, they do, unless they, like I say, unless they've changed it, that's all they have is a small building with male, female.
Right, and that's what I was.
That wouldn't be that much for something like that.
That's what I
It's,
was
I don't know what the expense
If
of,
you're looking at, what I was basically thinking was 2 stalls for the females, a stall and a urinal for
Right.
the males,
Right.
and then some 10-foot bench or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, they can put the metal uprights and just put the wood slats across of it.
the only thing
Just
is,
a place to get their skates on, get their pants on, up here, get their swimsuits on, take them off before they go into the car. And get
there's a lot of
everything like
garbage
that.
that gets thrown in there though.
Yep, you'd have to keep an eye out.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
Brokerage and.
up here,
Drug
we found
use.
out during 175th, we got no power on that side, so, you know. The building there, you'd have to do a
Ricky,
power drop and add.
Is that just a holding tank, or is that an incinerator that they have?
No, I think it's just a holding tank,
Yeah,
'cause
I
I
think it's
pumped it. You know where Lapham's Mills, is? They
Right,
got some
right.
nice fields there.
Yeah,
Yep.
That little building.
right.
And that's, it was years ago that I did it, and it was just a holding tank, probably 1,000
Well,
gallons. maybe.
I thought at one point it was an incinerator.
Not that I know of, you know, because I pumped it, but the garbage in there, you know, everybody throws everything in there.
Everything.
But if you ever take a ride down to Mason Park, that is such a nice park. There's a bridge across the river, 2 separate dog parks, a trail that comes right back out to Sullivan Park. And that's all they ever had there that I've seen is 2 portable toilets,
Is that
regular and
improved?
handicap.
Is that in Peru?
Yeah,
Down where the old mill was?
yep.
Okay.
What a nice park.
I mean, how many times, Howard, have you said that? Hello, about the bathrooms down there. It would be nice. It's a 4-season park. It gets used all year long. This one up here would not get used all year long.
But I don't know if you put in one like that, it's gonna freeze. Just the holding tank.
Well, they put the same chemicals as they do in the
Chemicals, yeah. They
toilet,
have
so
to
they don't
maintain it like
freeze
that.
It's the odorizer plus the chemical, and then it's pumped as needed. And that would be cheaper than putting in a 1,000-gallon tank and
Leach field and all that.
fields and all that.
You might wanna stay away from that.
Yeah, and that was one of the
Especially
things
down
that
there in
they
the
had
wetland.
mentioned in there, if it's a real wetland area
Right.
in that paperwork. Cause like I said, they're really restrictive in those areas.
Yeah, they're gonna have raised bed pump station, all that.
Yeah, so they said the easiest way to do that would be if you put a holding tank style, and they go, and the tank goes underneath the structure and then it's pumped out. But,
You could ask somebody from the town crew how that's made, and Lapham's Mills, how it's worked out for them.
Yeah.
but anyways, that's why I asked to be done. It's up to you guys whether you think it's a good idea or you want to take it out and not have any bathrooms or not add any bathrooms.
We don't have to decide on whether we're doing it or not, we just have to decide if we're doing it.
Whether you're leaving it in there, and that's added, those are monies that are in the unallocated fund. So we're finally to a point where we can do capital improvement projects for the town, okay? There's monies in the capital reserve, the unallocated fund reserve. So you could pave another 8-mile road if you want with it, you know? You could transfer it from the general fund into the highway, but once you put it in there, it's there. You can't ever put it back. So, but, that was my hope, is that we could start doing capital improvement projects. That's why I transferred those monies in there in the budget for 2023. And I'd asked everybody on this board if you have anything you want you know, really thinking about doing, or you'd like done. Last year's budget, I said to everybody, I said, hey, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you wanna do for a capital improvement project. There's a lot of stuff that the town could use.
Well, I kinda had an idea, and I mentioned, I spoke to Vern about it, and Mike as well. You had mentioned the Veterans Park down there. And I'd sorta like to see if we could allocate, there's two individuals that I know of, I mentioned it to Vern, that we could allocate some money to maybe put a display, a plaque of some kind down there. Maybe it would run about $2,500 a piece, but we can, at that point of spending it, we can let it out and check around for bids to do it even more reasonable. But I mentioned it about a year and a half ago, and
Yeah, I think he said Travis and, Travis Allen and,
Got 'em.
Got him.
yeah,
Okay.
Bruce Allen.
You gotta
was his
remember,
name.
yeah, whatever they call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, but, one of them's not in the town. Right, they lived in Town of Plattsburgh on the other side of the bridge.
Right, right near the bridge. I mean, Morrisonville location.
Yeah. The other one did live right on River Street. but,
Yes,
my
he did.
neighbor,
Yes.
So, again, this isn't really a discussion for tonight, I guess, because we're doing the budget, but.
Well, I was trying to
would-
get
I
some
would-
money set aside for it.
No, all I'm saying is, I talked to John about it, and this, the board can do what they want, but I would much rather see it dedicated to all of the servicemen that served in the town of Schuyler Falls than to dedicate it to two particular people. Nothing against those people. They've been in the town, the family's been in the town forever. At least one of them, the other one just outside of them. But, I think, I'm just saying, I would like to do it for all veterans, rather than to name anybody specific, but whatever. Are we good with that 100,000? Alright, so,
Wait a minute, is it 100,000? Is it earmarked for, what is it earmarked for, bathrooms?
yeah, but you can utilize that, it's capital improvement. I mean, that was my thought, was for the bathroom. But if they wanna take that 100,000 and put it into, I don't know, a new, truck, I mean, there's really
I
not a
guess
lot that
that,
you
you
can
know
do
what,
with it.
and that actually, to me, if somebody came to me, and I live across the street, and I'm not on the board, and somebody said, you realize they spent $100,000 to build bathrooms? And then I'm gonna say, what the hell? If they say, well, they put $100,000 on a line item for capital improvements to the parks, whether it be bathrooms or just a warming hut to go put your skates on or whatever. If you put it in there as bathrooms, I don't like the idea of bathrooms.
Right now you've got it in parks, it's not in bathrooms.
That's what I'm
It's in
saying.
Parks, so it's not anything to do with the parks.
So it doesn't have to be spent on.
It doesn't have to be
bathrooms.
spent in bathroom then,
No,
but it's
the
gotta be
intention
spent in
was-
the park.
To build a
Any of the
bathroom there and a
parks.
bathroom there, and that's
Any
way,
park, any
way
park.
more than what
Yep.
we needed to, but they
And I'd
gave
go
you
with that, but
latitude.
not locked into just
Because,
bathrooms.
think about it, okay, he just talked about water. We got water that's probably 150 feet from the end of that road that needs to go to the other end of the gazebo down there so that people have water there. Whether it's just to wash their hands or whether to cook with or they're cooking or whatever. We did the line drop already. You could use, Reggie wanted to do upgrade of the electric over there on San River Road. You could use some of that money to do the upgrade to the electrical over there.
And it's not gonna be done this year anyway. This is for 2024.
Well, this budget's for
Well,
2024.
that's what I'm saying. So we put the $100,000 in, the new board that comes on, it gives them a cushion to do park improvements. Is that what you're saying?
Right, right.
It's not earmarked
We
for
could still get
bathrooms.
this, not that one down there, but we could still get this bathroom done probably this fall up here. I just have
Now,
to-
why can't we use ARPA money for that?
Well, you can use ARPA money for whatever you want to use it for, it's a board decision.
If we're gonna do it up here, I think we should use ARPA money, because we're using ARPA money for the splash pad, which, and I agree, you should have a place where they can go in, change out their bathing suits or whatever. $100,000, I am not gonna feel comfortable voting to put $100,000 in to be used for bathrooms. If you say it's $100,000 for 2024, for that board to use for park improvement.
A bathroom's still gonna be a park improvement.
It is, yeah, but if they don't want to do a bar or a bathroom and they want to do a whatever, put electricity in
You
or.
could've did that right now. You could take the 100,000 that's in there and you decide, the board decided they didn't wanna put bathrooms anywhere, and you wanna stay with porta potties,
You have
do
money
with
in
it
this-
what you want,
have money
as
in
long
this
as you're,
year's budget to do the
as long as you're putting it in the parks.
Yes.
You
I do it.
you
I-
pay
okay,
the
I
parking
see.
lot now. Well, no, you can't, because it's gotta be a semi-permeable surface, but, I mean, there's,
We're gonna leave it in there, right?
yeah, we just
Leave
wait
it
for the
in there.
homework. Take it
It's
out
not
if you
as
want.
bathroom, but it's
Can
not
I just
as
mention
bathroom.
one thing and I'll be quick? I've been approached regarding that small park on 22B, along near the former swimming hole on Route 22B. You know where I mean, Sam?
Yeah.
Where they wanted brush cut
Yeah.
and so forth.
The hill right there,
Morrisonville.
bottom of the hill.
Now, technically, who owns that property? Is it owned by the town? That little tiny piece? I-
Yeah, Reggie, you talking where the Three Stone Monument is over here?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And some of the folks in that area would like to have maintenance of that land. Brush cut,
Okay,
things of that
so-
nature.
I told Mr. Foster that
Fuller.
Fuller, that I would get the girls over the bank when I felt it was safe, and I had everybody to do that. With the weather and other things that we had going on, we did not get to do that. And I told him that. He called me when I was on vacation. He told me he was not gonna mow the grass over there anymore, because that's what he's done, because all my people did was sit on their ass all the time. And so we didn't get over the bank and do it. So I see now that somebody took it upon themselves to go over and do it. And I appreciate whoever did that, the effort they did.
I guess my point is this, couldn't it be added to one of the duties of people that, I mean, it's a small area, Sam.
Yeah, but
Just
I
for
don't
the
know, I don't know
town,
if we own from the top of the bank down to the river. I don't know if we own that. I have no idea what we own over there. Other than the top of the land, we own a piece of property. But if we say that, okay, you have to put people over that bank, you're telling me that I'm gonna take, kids that are 17 years old, 18 years old, and I'm gonna strap them to a rope and stick them over the bank just because we say we have to do that? That's not comfortable. If I feel safe putting them over there, I'll get them over there if and when I can. This year, we weren't able to do that, and I really appreciate whoever did go over there and do that. But to say we have to do it, I don't think so, because when we did it a year ago, I think it was a year ago, we had somebody stop by and start bitching about the fact that we were gonna be reported to DEC because we were going over the bank and interfering with the water.
And that was waste of taxpayers' dollars, if I remember right.
Correct.
thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna pass that.
Yeah, the 100,000 will keep in there for park improvement.
I'm glad that was over with.
The rest of them,
Yeah, that was a long discussion.
Are we all
Ethan
for
has
it?
been,
Ready for it?
ready for it, right?
Yeah.
Keep it in.
Making sure, so we're all for it.
so playgrounds, rec, personal services, 2,000 increase. Nothing? Playgrounds, rec,
Well,
contractually.
Wait a minute.
is that, no, that's your salary, right?
What's that?
That's your salary,
No,
correct?
The
No,
top, the top.
Personal
You're looking at the first one, 7140.1. That's the people who work, and they're getting an 80 cent per hour raise because New York State raises minimum wage this
Minimum
year,
wage.
so that's in there to cover that.
Everybody good with it? Alright. Contractual expenses stays the same. Youth programs. 3,000 increase.
That's your salary, right?
That's my salary and, some buildings and grounds salary, some various other monies, yes.
Now, can we do that?
But-
We just said we're putting all the other ones
but-
on hold.
Just so you're aware, my portion of that was $1,500. The other $1,500 was part of the rest of the money. So I had put in for a $1,500 raise because I'm not the buildings and grounds person to do all the mowing, which we've done most of the year with the girls. You know, and seeing as how we can't hire a laborer who could help do some of that, I figure I'm probably gonna be the one that has to do it next year. So, that's why I put that money in there. If you wanna stay with 3%, stay with 3%, do what you wanna do.
What would 3% be?
3.5.
Huh?
3.5%, what would that be? Would that cover 1,500?
I don't know.
Yeah, 3.44827586.
Sam, where is the building and grounds payroll in that?
Where's
That's-
what?
Buildings and grounds doesn't come out of the department. Buildings and grounds comes out of the buildings and grounds, other, the town.
So the only other employee other than yourself is the 4 girls that work in the summer?
They work and,
They come out of 2 line items.
and isn't part of that, part of that went to Danny's salary when Danny was here?
Because he was both.
So part of that does go to buildings and grounds, if and when we get a buildings and grounds person. But seeing as how we can't get a laborer, we haven't got a buildings and grounds person in a year and a half, I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Sam, I'm not trying to be difficult, but what is your salary? Yours, your own,
18.
how much?
Right now, I get paid 18,000 a year.
18. And you're not asking for an increase,
Well,
or?
I asked for 19.5, but that's over and above the 3%.
Okay.
So
Because you had went up
it's
from 13 to 18, what, 2 years ago? Probably.
last year.
Oh, it was last year?
Yeah, from 10.7.
Okay. But does that line up with this 3.5?
The 3.5.
It lines up to 4%,
The 3.5
Before.
would be 600.
a lot better,
What's that, Mary?
you know?
The 3.5 would be 630.
But I'm under the understanding that we're gonna hire a building and grounds person.
We are?
We've been trying for a year and a half. No one said, no one.
Almost 2 years. But we had one for you for the last board and it didn't go.
No,
through.
that wasn't a building and grounds.
It is.
It
It's
is.
under laborer at civil service as a labor. Don't matter what we
Yeah, I know.
call 'em.
Buildings and grounds papers, it's basically the same
It's
thing.
the
You're not,
same
you're
stuff.
not putting them just to buildings and grounds. You're letting them work all over the place. That's why we wanted to do labor.
That's what we've been doing it all along.
We did hire a buildings and grounds person,
We had a
but he
building
thought
grounds
that he
officer.
could make a whole lot of money. So instead of following the directions that Kevin and I gave him of 18 and 3/4 hours a week,
Yeah.
and maybe a few extra hours during the summer and cut back in the winter, he wanted to work 40 hours a week. He did that for 3 weeks, and then finally when we told him for the 3rd time, you cannot do this, he left the keys in the truck and we haven't seen him since.
No, and again, as far as a laborer, that's a whole different subject. Your person, Danny, we are looking to replace him.
We've been looking for a year and a half.
I
Denny was-
I would have to think by the first of the year, we'll have somebody to replace him.
Well, you know what,
You
though,
left
it
June
hasn't
1st,
been in the
22.
paper since that one time, and that was last year.
June 1st of '22, Danny left.
Okay, but I'm
And we
just
put it in the
saying.
paper and we haven't put it in since.
What do you mean?
We
When
haven't
get-
advertised it
You better
since.
go check the records,
I
my
can,
girl.
I will.
Go ahead, cause as far as I understood, we put that in the paper at least 3 or 4 times and we didn't get any laborers.
I don't think so, but
Yeah.
I'll pull it
Because
up.
I'd even check with like Greg's kid and see if he wanted to do it, because we have put it in so many times. I was going around asking for people.
Now, we definitely need a building and grounds person, there's no doubt about it. I don't think it should be that hard.
What is the position back? So that brings up a question I
17
have.
something an hour.
Maybe the wrong time to ask this, but there was a resolution on the table last week to hire a laborer who could do some of the mowing and also help Mike at the highway garage and things like that, and it got tabled. I mean, we got an application sitting there, somebody willing to work, and
Well, I was running the meeting at the time, and the questions came up was, number one is, there was actually a few questions, where's the guy, where is he from, how did we come up with him, is he supposed to be drug tested, there was a number of questions that came up at the meeting. And then we had no answers, so
Have we ever drug tested any other employee, but somebody from the
According to-
highway department?
I'm not gonna say who, but I'm thinking that it was questioned, that it's in the employee handbook. Anybody that drives a town vehicle. I'm just saying.
No, CDL, it's in there for the guys up there, and if they get in an accident, yeah. If they got in an if anybody got in an accident with a town vehicle, it'd be a good idea to have them drug tested, just to make sure that everything's good.
No, are
and
you
if
saying
something
is it in the handbook?
CDL, yes.
Yeah.
CDL is
For
required.
CDL,
Just for
but this
CDL.
wasn't a CDL position, it was
We've never
labor.
done that for
No,
anybody.
but
For
insurance
seniors.
wise, they've already recommended that if you have a person driving a town vehicle,
If we put it through we put it through the insurance company.
right, and the insurance company says drug test them just to cover everybody.
I've never had the insurance
For an
company
accident.
tell me that.
No?
No, just for general,
But it's never been done before.
No.
Okay.
the buildings and grounds guy that we hired last year that lasted 3 weeks, I don't believe he was drug tested.
No, we never did. I mean, we never do the summer help.
unfortunately, Sam, you weren't here, Kevin wasn't here. I don't think it was a bad thing that we tabled it. We have no idea who this fellow was.
We didn't know who he was, didn't even know if he was from our town or not.
Well, he's not from the town,
Not from this town.
but neither was
Town-
Danny.
Lives in town of Big. Last
Exactly.
week,
yeah.
last
Yeah, I
buildings and grounds guy lived
mean,
in
nobody
town.
up at the highways from our town.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna restrict it to people that live in our town, then we might wanna
I never
advertise
said we
it
were
that way.
restricting anything. We asked a question, we didn't have an answer.
No, we didn't have
Well,
any,
no,
that's why it
that.
got tabled. It wasn't tabled for any other reason, we just had questions. It was we'll go to the mower then. At that point, there was questions,
No answer.
no answer, so we said, let's table.
Well, I
We didn't
was
say
in the
no.
hospital, so I.
I know you
That's
were.
understandable,
Yeah,
but
and
we
that's
just-
understandable.
No one wanted to feel free to move it
And see,
without our answer, our questions that we wanted to know answer.
Okay.
the other thing that came up, Sam, was a question of if someone is coming to work, should they be required to have a medical exam, a physical, to be on equipment working? I mean, is that something that's totally out of line?
That's never been done that I'm aware of.
No, and this hasn't either.
The highway guys don't even have to have an exam.
Well, for their
No, they don't get
for
DOT
their CDL,
physical.
they don't need it for
I
the
know, it
CDL.
blew my mind too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's one that I lost out on.
I know Timmy,
They're not-
Timmy and
they're
I
not
both drive
required for-
vehicles,
to have a
Howard
DOT
knows.
physical.
We have to get a medical exam every year, we have to get a blood test whenever they want a blood test you, or piss
Urine
test
test.
or
Yeah, but that's for
whatever.
your CDL license.
Right.
And again,
But in order to get your CDL license.
Yeah, but
Right.
these guys don't have CDL
Okay.
license. We look at
Can we
it.
get
Oh,
back to the budget though?
well, you didn't bring it up.
Okay, just to end that,
Yeah.
have the town attorney look into it. There's your answer.
Open your finger at it.
If he doesn't need one, let's hire the guy.
Anyway, that's why it got tabled. It didn't get,
Quick.
Sam, it didn't get, there was not a no vote, it was let's table it so we can find out more about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I just wanted to know.
Yeah, no, we
Alright,
just
so
didn't
let's
have,
get back to
any
Vern
answer.
filled me in part of it the other day, and, but he didn't have his, he was at work and didn't have his notes with him and stuff, so, you know, I wanted to find what else was.
So, let's keep this at 3.5 for now, and if something changes tomorrow night after we figure that out, then we'll look at whether we do something different for anybody else, right? Because Sam falls in the same as Howard and. But Sammy, I know, you plow, you've been taking care of all the buildings and the grounds. You're well worth it, I understand.
No question about that.
Did they,
There's nobody more conscientious about their job. And
Did
then
they,
you still
bury
help
that
me put the
cable out
hero
here yet?
signs up and everything else. with it,
Kevin,
so.
did they bury that cable out here yet?
I don't know, I haven't looked at
Alright.
Supposedly they did, right?
Yeah, the guy came here one day and said he was here to bury it.
Yeah, but he was burying the new equipment that he just put in, not something that's been here.
Oh,
So that fiber optics
Yeah.
is still on, is still on top.
No, they were
Yeah, that's
doing that.
Verizon, whenever they can get their burying crew.
I'll check it closely before I cut it off tomorrow.
No, that's what I told him, I said, good, if it gets hit with a lawnmower, then what's gonna happen? He goes, we'll just run another line for you. I'm like, yeah, it won't help us when all our computers are down, but at least we're not responsible for it.
all right. Next.
Youth didn't change, youth contingency did by $500.
And what's that reason?
Are those your coaches?
What was it?
What's
No,
that?
that's just all.
It's, A7310 .4.
Basically.
It went up 500, and what was that reason for, Sam?
What's that?
More coaches? Is that coaches?
The 500, why did it go up?
7310 4.4, I'm just looking to see what it is here.
That's your contractual, Sam, that's basically because your supplies are going up.
So,
Was.
That's
that's
contractual
your paint
expenses.
and all
That's
the
contractual expenses, so
lining the fields.
Line's gone up. Everything.
equipment's gone up, prices have gone up,
Thank you.
gas. We usually
I tell you, I
run
hate doing
gas in the
budget.
small engines, so, you know, $4.70 a gallon.
Alright, historian, looks like she put 3 down at $135 difference for the whole year at 3% for her. And then, it looks like she took, 1,530 away for the, contractual.
Yeah, she only spent $142 so far.
Everybody good with those?
Yep.
Other than everybody go to 3.5, is that what my understanding is, if we don't change anything else?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, zoning, personal services,
3% again.
Yep, it was a 3.5.
that's where yours is split up.
Yes.
So it'd be a total raise for you, 22, so I misspoke. So instead of $1,100, it would be $2,200 raise. I got that one broken up. Zone clerk, 3%.
And the zoning contractual, I left the same. I did not get a budget from the chairman, so I don't know about their training, what they're doing. So that's up to you guys what they want to do. I did not get a budget sheet from them.
Keep it simple.
They're gonna run into problems then, because I sent them all out letters.
Because that does include their legal fees and
And-
too.
It doesn't, and their training's gonna have to come out of there, and there's one that's up this year, and there's another one that's up next year.
So I don't know what you guys want to do with that line item.
Worst comes
Or,
to
or
worst, it's
they're gonna be
online,
off the board, because,
right? Kevin, it was online, we gave him all the information as well.
yeah, yeah, there was some online. I just don't wanna have what happened with Mike MD last year, where they didn't have it in there, and then I got screamed at for 8 months, because they didn't put it in there. But
You can't just
it's
start.
true, you know what I mean? I
know,
can't
just-
tell, I
He
can't
didn't
do
go though,
it
did
for
he?
him. But,
He didn't go to the training, did he?
Because it wasn't in the budget.
Well,
And
then
again,
it wasn't
in the
budget. Go.
And I didn't get a budget from the chairman.
so that's what I'm saying, that
You sent
He,
me?
he didn't get approved.
the reason was that the chair was a little nervous on how much legal fees that we were gonna have for the attorney, which was Tom Maine, and he didn't wanna take over half of it to do a training. So I said, make sure this year you put in for your contractual expenses, a couple of training, like we talked about with some of the other jobs,
Right.
especially the elected ones this year, because they're gonna have to go.
Mhm.
They're gonna, they should go. you
No, I
know?
was just, I wasn't
But,
like casting,
On-
I was just saying,
Yeah.
I was surprised because I know he had brought it up and I went, and I
Yeah.
assumed that he didn't go because,
yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, we could say that as the newly elected officers, officials, whoever those are, they're not really required. They really should go so they know what they're doing, but zoning board and planning board are required. They're required to have, I think, don't quote me, I think it's 5 hours each year.
Can we
Maybe
try
it's
to get
4
a-
hours, that's what it is, 4 hours each year for 20 hours. And if they don't have it, then we can't reappoint it.
That's Frank Dorn's, right, is the chairman?
Yeah.
Why don't we try to get a hold of him tomorrow, give him one last chance to revise his budget if he wants. I can't see us doing his budget.
No, that's what I'm saying, I can't put it in
So we
there.
keep it the same, but maybe a courtesy call?
Did he explain to him, he might wanna listen to it?
Probably not that ink. Alright, I think that does it for that. Legal services, planning, personal services. Is there not a pen over there?
Yep, there is a sheet in there for the
This one
plan.
crapped the bed on. Oh, now it's not gonna be. Huh?
Got one?
What's that?
You got one?
Yeah, I'm good. We decided to write again.
So planning board, he has,
It's
Chairman has
3%
a sheet.
for, what is it, 45 a meeting or whatever?
there's a sheet in there for